Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
And we're talking Suicide Squad!
Goals. Squad goals.
As always, to stay spoiler free, click here.
Right. So, I guess you were impersonating the Captain Boomerang himself, being a bit of an ass with a beard, shoving people around.
Pretty much.
Maybe we'll lock you up in a bag. I don't think that as a character, his potential as a threat was really shown. Like, yes, he jumped out of a bag and attacked people. Yes, they kind of transported him and they had him in lockup as like everything else. But they didn't show his skill set at any point. Like, he robbed a bank and then killed his partner and then gets taken out. But he's not shown to have a specific skill set.
They allude to his skill set with
Yeah.
the boomerangs and that he's pretty ruthless, but I do agree that, yes, they didn't show his skill set as much as the others in why he was chosen to be part of this team.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed a little bit where he threw the boomerang to take out his mate that he robbed the bank with.
Yeah.
And they show him being able to throw a boomerang really well, very deadly and stuff like that.
And
he could fight with knives,
with
but
the kid's
they
katana,
but they couldn't. They didn't cut to him enough in those fight scenes to really show off his fighting capabilities like they did with Deadshot, and Harley Quinn a little bit as well. But in saying that, I don't know why, but there's something about Captain Boomerang that I really, really liked, and he was
funny. He was funny, and he was.
I thought he was freaking hilarious.
He was on a completely different grain to the rest of the characters because he was just a bit like, this is stupid. I'm only here because you'll blow me up, kind of a deal. But I like killing stuff.
And I think that's why I liked him. And to me, he was maybe not a standout performance, but at least my favourite character. Like, I just really enjoyed his character. And I really liked how different everything for him was to everybody else. Like, when they were rocked up on their first mission, like after they've been injected, and like you had Deadshot and Harley and Killer Crocle in this like really fancy contraptions on wheels, and then Slipknot rocks up and gets out of a really slick car, that FBI, and then there's a bag dumped on the ground.
Yeah.
And then they just rip it, like, rather than unzip it, they like cut it open, and then out pops Boomerang and like starts a fight straight away. I just found that hilarious at how it was totally different to everybody else.
Yeah, it was different. I think if they dedicated like one scene to him making like a boomerang shot around a corner that Deadshot couldn't make because it's through. Obviously, Deadshot can take like reflected shots if he's had a chance to set them up.
Yes, like they showed with him.
He can't just sit here and be like, "There's a guy around that corner that I want to take out. I'm going to reflect it off. Oh wait, there's nothing to reflect it off." Whereas a boomerang can take that corner path. They kind of showed that when he threw his like drone camera thing in. But if they'd done something instead of like Harley Quinn going to save like Rick, if it had been a boomerang that had taken out 2 or 3 of the guys, that would have made him seem like a much more valuable member of the team rather than just like the extra kind of funny guy.
I can see where you're going. I also know the comics a bit more, so I read between the lines, I think, in a lot of it.
But
I was filling in gaps with my mind as well, I think, more than probably obviously you were.
Yeah, I don't know that character as well. So for me, he just wasn't fleshed out as actually being a potential threat like the others. Like, they could have taken a bit of time off the others, like, and still been fine.
Yeah.
For example, Killer Croc is a threat because he's big reptilian, and he just looks like, with no time, you just see him. He looks like a threat. So
yeah. I can see what you're saying.
It's just psychological, and then Harley Quinn is just nuts. So even if she's not actually doesn't bring a whole lot to the team, she brings an unexpected factor that your opponents cannot calculate.
And the thing that makes you feel that is because you got that screen time with her, whereas you didn't have that screen time with Boomerang that you're wanting to be able to establish why he's part of the team. Whereas because I feel like they're both as big a threat as each other, but what you presented on screen with the with you, because you obviously don't know Boomerang as well, you didn't feel that, and I can understand where you're coming from, and it was a very Harley Deadshot show. It was a Harley Quinn and Deadshot movie, really, more than anything. They were the main two, with Diablo.
Who was my favourite character. I really, really liked him, and the whole, like, he's trying to pay the price for his accidental murder of his family, and he knows that if he's not careful, he will just be like, he's the only one on the team who's actually trying to redeem himself.
Yes.
Like, no one else in the movie is.
Well, he doesn't even want to be on these missions, like, because he wants to serve his time and just be left alone.
Yeah, but Waller, ruthless as anyone else. Like,
if not more.
Yeah, like, Diablo is literally the only character in this show who is trying
to redeem himself
and be a good guy.
Yeah. Everybody else knows they're a bad guy.
And wants to be, basically.
Totally fine with it. Like, Deadshot, even at the end of the movie, he's the most heroic out of all of them, the most hero-like. And even at the end of the movie, when he has the time with his kid, there's just moments where you're just like, okay, he wants to be better for his kid, but he knows he's a bad guy. He knows that if he gets offered a contract, he's going to take it. He's going to kill someone.
Yeah.
And he's got no qualms about doing that.
And then Katana's obviously very conflicted and tortured over the whole, her husband's soul was trapped in the sword. And
she wasn't necessarily a bad guy. She was the backup to Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Like, part of the good guy team.
But at the same time, she basically had just been on a revenge mission.
Yes.
So, which is very different to, like, the good guys you've seen previously in the DC universe. Like, Superman was there trying his best to be a good guy.
Yes.
Which brings me to one of my favourite lines in it. At the very beginning, when they're setting up when and how this movie is set. It's like, the world changed when Superman flew in our skies, and then it changed again when he didn't. Like, that was and then obviously the bit of the music and the scenes after that made that line really, really, like, kind of an emotional, like, scene setting. That's like the foundation of where they're at, and shows why you can potentially convince a bunch of bureaucrats that letting a bunch of terrorists do their dirty work might be an okay deal.
And that's what I really liked about Amanda Waller, is they went for the what they actually even nicknamed the Wall in the cartoon and even in the comics. They went for the old, like, not the new 52 Waller. They went for the older Waller, which is a bit more of a staunchy lady with, like, the afro, and she's ruthless.
Yeah.
Like, she's badass. Like, she has no problem whatsoever killing people or taking advantage of people. Like, she fully took advantage of Rick Flag and just put him with the woman who Dr. June Moore, I think her name was, who had the Enchantress, with the sole purpose that he wanted him to fall in love with her.
Yeah.
So he could have control. She
was already controlling the Enchantress. She wanted to better control him because he was the best of the best for the Marines, or I think it was Marine Force. But, like, she had, like, the bombs in everyone's necks, plus basically threatening whatever they did care about.
Yeah, I really liked the way that she had that. And then when they save her at the top of the building, and then there's all these other people in the room, and she just, like, as they're about to leave, just pulls out the gun and shoots, like, 5 of them before they walk out.
In front of Deadshot, whose basically response is, and I'm the criminal.
Yeah, and I'm the bad guy. Yeah.
It's like, so he would never have killed them unless he got paid for it. And in her realm, like, knowledge is payment. So,
and yeah, she's the comment she makes is they weren't cleared anyway.
Yeah.
To Rick, and Rick's just kind of obviously become a bit blasé to it, like he's just kind of expected it now. But yeah, I found that really interesting and really refreshing the way they did that. And the other thing I really liked is the introduction they did to the characters.
They were cool.
They used a theme song for each character that they introduced, and they used, like, a splash screen
with different fonts and different colorings
and different and then, like, you know, their rap sheet or, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, different bits and pieces that reflect who the character is. It wasn't up there long enough for you to read all of it, but you could read some of it to get a bit of an idea of the character, and then proceeded into how they got caught, basically.
Except for Slipknot, who's like, and this guy can climb stuff. Next.
Yeah. I felt like they really needed to put up a screen for him as well, so that when they did kill him off early on, it was a little bit more of a surprise and a little bit more...
I bet you what they did is they had a scene like that, and then they cut it to make the movie the length that they wanted to do.
It's quite possible, yeah.
Which they might have been better to cut some of the other stuff from other places.
Yeah, it just felt like it was like, well, this guy's going to die as soon as Boomerang talks about trying to escape. Because they did well to keep Slipknot in all the promo pictures and all that, even though he's like, 8 minutes of screen time or something like that?
Yeah.
Either way. And I really liked the whole setup of this movie.
Yeah.
And I really liked that, the first two acts I just really enjoyed them. Like, there was just different, there was good humour, there was, the characters, all the actors killed, just absolutely, they killed. Maybe the actors didn't kill, but the characters killed. But they killed as the characters.
Batman didn't.
No, I'm just, the actors in this did a brilliant job, but all of them, just nailed their roles.
But literally, Batman's basically the only major character that didn't kill someone.
In this movie, at least.
Yeah.
George Batman vs Superman, at least.
Yeah, but in this, the generals, they might not have, a couple of those bystanders.
Marine 6.
But the named characters.
Yes.
I think all the build named characters killed someone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all of them did because Batman wasn't.
He
wasn't even credited.
Which they did kind of on purpose, but everyone knew.
Yeah, that was a smart move.
We're not telling anyone he's in the movie. He's totally in the movie.
Everybody knew he was in the movie.
Yeah.
But I liked the way they did that. But for me, just the last act, just felt like a typical sort of ending. Like, it was like you could exchange any character, any villain, and put him in that same situation. It would have played out exactly the same.
Yeah. Give
or take maybe one or two little things. And that's where that was my main little gripe with the movie. It's just in that this ending, I felt like they could have done something different. I didn't mind Enchantress being the main villain, but I just felt maybe not being such a big end of the world things. Maybe something a little bit more covert.
Yeah,
might have been a cooler mission, something that Amanda Waller wanted to cover up that she screwed up, which technically she was doing.
Yeah.
But a little bit more covert, so it was still could have been Enchantress trying to take over the world, but not so that she took over the entire city of Midway for 3 days.
And then no one else rocks up. Obviously, we still know Batman's around.
Yeah, and
we still know the Flash is around.
The Flash is the Flash because he actually took down Boomerang. He's the one that caught Boomerang. So there's at least those two.
We know Wonder Woman's around. And she knows that Batman's trying to create a Super League.
Yeah.
Because they've had this conversation and it's established. And then obviously at the very end we see that Batman, or at least Bruce Wayne, is looking into metahumans and trying to find Aquaman. So this is the very right near the end. It is setting up for the Justice League. Which, this is where the interim is, and he's basically saying, your team's stupid, this is a liability, you're gonna get burnt. Not saying, but he hasn't quite said, you got burnt now, it's gonna get worse. Let me and my friends deal with it. So, I liked how that closed that off.
I did too.
But
what I liked as well is that in that mid-credit scene was Waller was seeking the protection of Bruce Wayne and Batman. I didn't like the fact that Waller knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. That was a little bit, maybe not yet. I felt like she knew too early. But then again, Batman has been around for, the idea being 20 years at this stage.
Yeah.
Hence why he has all the bad guys are in this movie are almost Batman villains. That's the point.
Yeah.
But in a way, she's also kind of seeking Batman's protection in that from whatever it is she was... I can't remember now off the top of my head. Yeah.
She's basically saying that there's powerful people coming after her because this didn't go fantastically.
Yeah, that's exactly it. With the whole Enchantress situation.
And so earlier in the movie when Deadshot is giving his demands, he killed that obviously he destroys his targets and the whole bullets through those steel frames is really cool. But his the demands is like, and like my daughter's going to like the best like schools. You're paying for all of her education. She's going to Harvard so they go like, so Ivy League. He's like, yeah, Ivy League. And if her grades don't cut it, you're gonna white person that shit. You know what I mean? Which is so funny.
And then the mate was like, I'm a little concerned though because I'm not seeing anyone write this down. And then Reflag says something and he goes,
you're not in a position to make demands.
And he's like, well, I wasn't talking to you, errand boy. I was talking to her.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you got all that? And then walks off. I was like...
And he knows he's going back into his cell. And I loved also when they were taking him out of his cell like the first time. There's like 12 of them with riot shields. I'm just going to ram him into that side wall. Like, he's dangerous. He doesn't have any guns. Who cares? We're going to ram him into that wall. Like, they are in a detention centre which is so far beyond what you'd be legally allowed to do to people. Like, you might get away with it with Killer Croc because you get like, he's not human, he's an animal.
Yeah.
But like...
Which is how they treated him.
Yeah. And though he didn't ask to live in a sewer, so that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But still, like, you cannot treat people like that legally. Like, it's...
Yeah.
But obviously, comic book land where there are superpowers, you get away with doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy this overall. It's a...
One thing we haven't mentioned yet. Joker.
Yep. I like his end scene.
I like Jared Leto as Joker. It's more comic book like than previous Jokers, and as like there was something really menacing about it.
Yep.
And unhinged.
And there was enough. Like, so obviously he could have been even less, and it was something cool. But it was small enough that you kind of had to make your own assumptions about he was.
Yes.
Whereas obviously in the previous Batman movies, where you see a fair bit of him.
That's what I liked is, I felt like they used they almost used too much of him. I thought maybe like I felt like they just were on that borderline of using too much for this movie. Because he's more of a secondary character than a main character. And it's to do with the relationship with Harley Quinn, and I really liked the way they played off each other. And then, I really liked that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of whatever they decide to do with all of these characters.
Yeah.
Whatever that happens to be. It doesn't even have to be another Suicide Squad movie. I just want to see any of them and all of them rock up in another movie in some way, shape, or form. I think that would be cool.
It'd be cool to see like a gang war with Diablo, because they've claimed he's dead. Like, there are ways they can get around that. If it came out that he was the favourite character of all the fans, they would bring him back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, so I really enjoyed him, and I really enjoyed him as his human self, conflicted as well. But he could, like, the origin stories of each of these characters would be great, or just future clashing Suicide Squad with Justice League stuff could be cool.
Who knows what they're going to do? But
fun.
overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It was just shy of a great movie because of that ending, and mainly just some of the story beats with the villain side of things and the main Act 3 conflict and thingy where they come together and beat the big bad. That was the thing that stopped it from being a great movie for me. Like, it's like so close to being great, but it was still very good. Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I actually feel like I'll enjoy it even more the second time I see it.
Possibly, yeah.
I reckon that's a fair call. I reckon I'll enjoy it more the second time. Yeah. That's my thoughts and feelings.
Well, and mine. But my feelings have been stated, but slightly different to his. But
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.